Hey everyone, Greg Moulton from Matrix Motion Fitness Studios, and I want to take a moment to talk about pelvis stability. So there's two ways that we can actually approach a pelvic stability standpoint. So one is going to be from the top down, so looking at abdominals, obliques, spinal erectors, and basically anything that comes from the top of your body down into your pelvis and supports it from there. And then the second is now looking from the bottom up. So that's going to be more hip related, glutes, quads, adductors, abductors, and kind of just looking at it from that bottom up standpoint. So we're going to take this into two videos. So our first part is going to focus more on hip stability, kind of the bottom up standpoint to this. So these are just a handful of exercises that I typically work with a lot of our clients for, making sure that they are chosen based on what their needs are. So this is still just kind of a general overview of a couple things that you could work through. If any of these cause pain or discomfort or just quite aren't feeling right for you, stop. Don't carry on. Either shoot us a message, contact us, that way we can kind of help you through it, or just kind of revisit it at a later date. So first couple things we're going to get through is a 4-point hip kind of stability thing. So basically I've got this little box here. It's just like a little toy bin. You just need a solid object, because these ones for starters are going to be more isometric based. So you need something you can actually push into. So I've got this set up next to me. You can use a couch, a flight of stairs. You can use a wall. Wall's perfect. Anything that isn't going to move. So for starters, I'm just going to focus on my left hip. I'm going to put my weight on my right side. I'm going to bring my left leg out to the side, and I'm just going to be pushing out. So I'm focusing on engaging the outside of my left hip right now. My right leg is going to have to work a little bit to stabilize through this, but the focus is going to come on that left side. All right, so we're going to start off by pushing out. Okay, holding that for about 10 seconds, repeating each one of these initial holds. You're going to repeat about four, 5, maybe 6 times, and holding roughly 10 seconds or less. So our second position now, I'm going to stand away basically with my back towards that object. I'm going to rotate my leg out just slightly, and then I'm going to squeeze my butt, and I'm going to bring my leg back behind me. I'm trying to keep my knee as straight as I can. So the more you bend the knee, the more you're going to feel in the hamstring. And our goal right now is not hamstring. We're wanting to look more glutes. So keeping that knee nice and straight, foot rotated out slightly, and then just pushing back. Try not to lean forwards with this, right? Our goal is to work that one leg that's coming back, right? So if I just lean, this didn't actually change, and I'm actually now putting more emphasis on my anchor foot. So right now my right foot. So again, trying to bring that left leg back behind you, keeping your body nice and upright, squeezing onto that glute as best as you can for this. All right. Now our next one, so I'm going to show this to you with my right leg, that way I'm still facing you guys. We're going to work more on the inner thigh basically. So you're going to just bring your leg forwards, and you're going to cross in front of your body into that object. And now we're going to be focusing more up into that inner thigh, coming into your groin a little bit, and just kind of holding on to that position now. And then the last one for this kind of initial starting point, you're going to face into that object. You're going to point your toe, and you're going to push forwards into that. So now we're focusing more quad hip flexor. So these 4 positions are going to be a great initial support stability component that's going to help around the hips for right now, and hips and into the pelvis. I kind of start with those. I find those are great activation type exercises before you get into anything further. But we do want to get into a couple other exercises with this as well. So next, what I often do, coming down onto the floor, I'm going to lean right back. Both my knees are going to be bent with my feet flat on the floor. I'm going to lift one leg up. So right now, my hip is at roughly 90 degrees. My knee is at roughly 90 degrees. And what I'm going to do is try to rotate my leg. My lower leg is going to appear to rotate inwards. My hip is actually rotating outwards. And I'm keeping this kind of position here. So now I'm focusing more on the rotation component right up into that hip, and just trying to stabilize through there. And then we can reverse that. And now my foot is going to appear to rotate outwards, but my hip itself is actually rotating inwards. we're gonna hold on to that position. All right. So we can do that for both legs, that rotation through either side. Okay. Take note as to whether one side can rotate better than the other. If there is a bit of a weakness or a limitation there, try to focus a little bit more on that side. Just kind of emphasize that just a touch as you're going through this. Right? Next, what I'd kind of shift into is a glute activation thing. So there's 3 things that we'll go through for this for right now. So one is going to be a glute bridge. So hips coming right up towards the ceiling. So I'm squeezing my glutes, I'm keeping my abdominals nice and engaged, right? If you want your arms out to the side for balance, you can do that. Trying not to kind of wobble around too much as you're doing this. If you want to get some extra activation through this, if you push the knees out just that little bit more, that will engage your glutes a bit more as well. And kind of holding on to this. So I'm less inclined to go through like fast reps for this. I'd rather you get up, get that squeeze, make sure you've got that contraction as best as possible, and then coming down from that point. We can also get into a hip extension or kind of a glute reverse kind of glute bridge in a sense. This will just go one leg at a time. So going onto your stomach, we're just going to bend a knee, and then you're going to lift that leg up, squeezing your glute as you're holding that up there, making sure that you're not causing too much discomfort for your back. Switching legs, same thing for the other side. All right? And then the last one that we'll go over for today is actually just a standing glute isometric, standing glute hold. So for this, I'll start off kind of facing forwards towards you. So you can kind of see my feet. I've got them rotated outwards a little bit. I've got my heels in together, and I'm actually trying to squeeze my heels together to create a bit of an extra contraction through this. And then from here, I'm gonna turn sideways just so you can kind of see the rest of this. I'm gonna take my hips, and I'm gonna try to push forwards and kind of tilt my pelvis kind of up and underneath me. And by doing that, I should be able to feel my glutes contracting. By squeezing my heels together, I'm gonna get a bit of that extra contraction through the glutes. And I'm gonna hold this contraction. I'm gonna keep this squeeze going. This one in particular, I tend to focus more on a duration standpoint. So hold it for 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, whatever you feel comfortable doing. When you start to feel that contraction taper off, that's your cue to stop, kind of reset yourself a little bit, and then get into a second hold after that. You might wanna hold this one maybe 2-3 times. And each hold you do it, you should see a bit of a decrease in terms of how long you can hold it for, just based on kind of what we're going through, right? So again, just that kind of pelvis tilt, kind of up and underneath you, right? So that kind of overview is kind of a starting point, at least to get some more hip stability. You're looking at kind of some different planes of motion, different ways to contract glutes. And all of those are going to help to stabilize your pelvis from that bottom up standpoint. So I'll leave you guys with that for now. If you're interested, again, kind of stay tuned. We'll have another video kind of coupling this one, and we're going to focus from a top down situation all into some pelvic control. All right, hopefully this helps.